In order to be a great auction agent, you have to completely detach from price.
Well, it's not about price, it's a process.
It's a process.
Yeah. So you can't pitch on price, you pitch on process.
Your office sold 250 properties last 12 months. 245 of those were auctions.
Yeah.
So why auction everything?
I just don't see how private treaty gives you any benefit. Everything you're going to get from private treaty with an auction and just the potential for outcome when you have transparent competition is unrivaled.
I agree with that, but I personally think that...
Well, look, on my side, I think that's a misconception.
Agents, welcome to the Get Keen podcast, your number one destination for learning how to get the most out of your real estate career. I'm Dan Lee, founder of Plum Property, one of Queensland's largest independent real estate offices, and Plum Partners, where we've helped dozens of agents create, run and grow their very own agencies. On Get Keen, I chat to high-performing agents, principals, and agency owners, so you have the tools, strategies, and insights to grow your business and live the best life for yourself and your family. Now let's get keen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Get Keen. I bring you only the best guests in real estate so that you can learn from the best, so that you can further your career in real estate. And today I have a great man with me. He's a business owner of a Ray White franchise at Mount Gravatt. He's been in the industry 20 years. His agency sells over 250 properties a year, and personally, he sells with his own sales team pod around 60 properties a year. Well, in the last 12 months, at an average price of $1.1 million. He's in the top 3% of agencies in the industry, so he's here to share some wisdom. Thanks for being with us, Grant Bowman.
Thank you. First podcast.
First podcast ever. Mate, well, you got to make your first one the best one.
Absolutely.
We're getting close to being the number one real estate podcast in Australia.
Excellent.
So
I'm sure I'll add heaps of viewership.
You will. You absolutely will. That's not even a joke. But, mate, there's heaps that I want to dive into.
Sure.
Most people that I have on this podcast, they're high-performing agents. Mm-hmm. You're not just a high-performing agent, you're also a business owner. So I'd like to dive into some of the skills and strategies around being a business owner and a salesperson at the same time. But firstly, how long were you an agent before you opened your own franchise?
So I've been in real estate since 2001. I've been with Ray White since 2002.
Okay.
And then we took business ownership in 18, 19.
Geez, you don't look that old. What did you start when you were 12 years old?
I was 19.
19.
19 turning 20.
Okay. Yeah. Was it family business?
So it was, but we all started at the same time.
Okay.
So
what do you mean by that?
So mum and dad hadn't been in real estate.
Yeah.
They'd had other businesses. I was working as at the cinemas, tear the ticket.
Yeah.
Third door on the right, that type of stuff. Left.
Yeah.
And was studying to be a travel agent, but then quickly worked out that it's not really much money you can make as a travel agent.
No, it's more of a lifestyle job.
Yeah. And then they said, we wanted you to do real estate, we'll pay for your course. I wasn't doing much anyway, so I said, okay. Met someone at that course, got a job with a professionals business at Sunnybank Hills, and then I was doing it kind of 12, 18 months in a BDM leasing role. The business that they were in were coming to an end, so they approached Ray White, and Ray White gave us a franchise, which they wouldn't do today with no experience or very little experience.
What's this with your parents, though? So you were at a professionals, but you said your mum and dad started a real estate?
So we started with Ray White all at the same time. So I left the professionals. They started cold in real estate.
But they opened an office? Or
He opened an office, yeah.
Really?
From cold.
But you were already trained as an agent?
I was already in real estate, yeah.
Okay, so what, were you the office's first agent?
We bought an office with like a couple hundred managements, and we had 2 or 3 staff. So it was an underperforming office. It was like 130th in the state or something like that at that point. Yeah.
What's that like working with your parents in a real estate agency?
There were some awesome moments. We saw a business grow. Obviously came into a great market in the early 2000s, learned a lot, had a couple of good staff. One of the staff's still with us.
Yeah, right.
Some awesome things, and then some challenges when we had to, like any partnership, they moved out, and we helped them grow the business, and then I had to buy the business off them.
Okay, so that's what happened. Right, because I was going to ask you, like, when did you know you were ready to start your own business, but it was actually you worked in the family business
Worked
and
in
then
the
you
business,
took it over.
So
Okay.
we helped
That's
grow
quite a
it.
journey.
I negotiated a purchase of a rent roll. My wife was in property management, or now wife, runs the rent roll now. And yes, I helped build their business and had to buy it off them and didn't get a discount. So it was a challenging process, I can assure you.
I bet it was. Well, at least it's still a healthy looking business
Yeah.
these days.
We went through a whole rebuild after they exited the business. So that's kind of where we started.
Okay, how long ago was that?
So it was 18, 19. So all the experienced salespeople, bar one, left when I took over. Because I had.
Why?
Oh, look, I had an opinion on how I wanted to run the business. I think if you're going to go and become a business leader, like Brian White says it all the time, like your team needs to know what you want, what you stand for. Mm. And so I'd made a decision that if I was going to be a business owner, which initially I didn't want to do, like I was like, nah, I'll just keep selling. I'll have my team. I can make amazing money. I don't want the stress, the hassle, all that noise. Mm. But then also thought about where I started to come around with when I met with some people within the railway group, Hazley, and a couple of mentors, and thought, what's my legacy? What's my end game? How long am I going to want to sell for? And so if I go down the road of just being my own business unit, then I'm making a firm decision that I'm only going to sell forever. Whereas if I go into business leadership, well, there may be an opportunity to make a different decision later if I want to, concentrate on building a team and all that sort of stuff, and then I've got options to not sell if I ever choose to. So that sort of swung me over to going into business leadership. Yeah.
And has that paid off?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we went through a rebuild. So yeah, I wanted an auction business.
Yeah.
We're 97% auction, so an auction only business I would call us.
Okay.
And I was very much a database relationship model, not catch and kill. And our existing agents didn't love either of those things.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And so they all went
so they
places.
all left. Was that scary, or were you just like, oh well, so be it?
Nah, because I knew my performance level was great. Like I knew where my level was going to be, so I didn't doubt my ability. And just committed to building a team. My brother was in the business. We built him into an agent. He's a great agent now as well.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Yeah. I saw that on your website. So how did you go about building your sales team back up?
So for us, I'm not great at recruitment.
Why?
Initially, I think it's because I was so competitive. Like I had this mindset, which is the wrong mindset, and it's changed now, but this is probably 10 years ago, leading up to my initial movement into business ownership, that I would struggle to talk to agents because I thought, well, why would I meet with them? I'm better than them. And it's not the right mentality, and it's certainly not my mentality now, but initially that was my struggle with it.
Oh, right.
Probably now is I just don't commit enough time to it.
Yeah, you do have to commit time to it.
Absolutely.
It won't happen by itself.
No. And that's probably one of the things where if I've got all these things to do, that's probably one of the things where I don't commit enough time to.
You do have a sales team. I look, you have about 10 salespeople. I mean, you've got one or two.
Yeah, so we've built them all through. Like they've all been, we've grown them all.
As sales
associates, BDMs. So the other chairman's elite in the office is James Austin. He started with us as a property manager, BDM, sales, and then is now a chairman's elite and has become a partner in the business as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So was it like when you were going to take over the business, you were obviously quite a high performer at the time. This is 18, 19. So, I mean, the market prices were 50% cheaper than they are now.
Yeah. And
what sort of money were you writing at the time?
At that time, I would have been in GCI.
Yeah.
Would have been sitting somewhere around 750, 800, something
750, 800?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so then you're going into business ownership. You're buying the business off mum and dad.
Yep.
So when you took it over, do you think it has been harder or easier to become a business owner and run it that way than what you thought?
I think that process of buying mum and dad out got to a point where I said, I'm out. I rang Tony Wallen. Okay. For those of you who don't know Tony Wallen, he was the CEO for Queensland. Yeah. And I got to a point where I said, nah, just take me somewhere else. I'm going to do my own thing. Like I've had enough. Mm-hmm. And then we ended up mending fences and put the deal together.
Okay.
So that was certainly that was very challenging. Look, a startup would be incredibly difficult as well, although if it's in an area where high performing, there's a level of performance that comes with that. So I think there'd be challenges on both sides. And then also going from, I suppose, with the team we had in that rebuild, part of it was also because I was up here with them and then having to become the leader. So I'm sure there was some uncomfortability on their side around that as well, and maybe me, I don't know. But I don't think there's an easy pathway, whichever way you look at it. I think obviously we're fortunate that we bought a rent roll. That certainly helped as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did the business look like when you took it over compared to how it looks today?
So the rebuild we've gone through. So when I took over that 18-19 year, we were down. So the peak of their ownership, we were sort of 225, 230 sales a year, which was kind of like 13, 14. And then it got down when we took it over. We were back down around 120 sales a year. So every year we've gone methodically, sort of gone up. Over the last 6 years, it's increased now to 250, and then plotting our way to 300 and beyond.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you increasing your amount of sales? Are you trying to do more yourself?
Yeah. Like this year, I think we're 60. I think goal is probably we'll get to 70 this year is where we were wanting to be.
Yeah.
And probably will continue to build out that team. So I'll probably take a different process with the current team. Like the associates I've got now, my team, I've got 2. Rather than going out on their own, they'll probably grow through my team rather than stepping out. The last ones I've had have gotten to a point where they wanted to move out, and we supported them through that. Yeah.
So it's been about 6 years since you took over the business. Is there anything that you think you should have focused on more up until this point or done better?
Oh, look, recruitment's one of them. Absolutely. I think.
What do you think you could have done better on the recruitment side?
Look, it's certainly if I was better at bringing people on or committing to building those relationships, probably the point. I think then maybe that fast tracks some of our growth. If we bring in better performance. But
so, what sort of activities do you think you should do more? If you want to be a better recruiter.
Yeah, better recruiter. Look, the things that I have done that have worked, certainly I think the easiest one to do is just start going through open homes.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to start the relationship with an agent. You get to see what they're like doing their work, and I guess they get to meet you and understand that you're actually not a bad person, and you're not this monster, or that maybe the leader in their business might have painted you out to be, and then I guess from there you can kind of start having conversations, because I don't know if you've done recruitment in your time, but it's a long road. It's about building a relationship. I think you've got to build that relationship before you can even entertain whether it's something that you can work together. Yeah. So it's definitely an important focus. Yeah.
So you got a rental team. When you took that over, how big was that?
It was like 650. It's now at 750.
Okay. So what do you do to focus on growing the rent roll?
With one BDM, we had 2. We'll go back to 2. A lot of that comes through, obviously, referral from sales team, that sort of stuff, and then their own activities.
Okay.
So again, we're about profitable growth, though. I wouldn't take on management. I wouldn't take on sales. If we can't make money out of it, we don't want to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So you've got your price, you've got your type of client you want, and you stick to that.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. Do you come into competition with your own agents in your office?
I think. Well, look, on my side, I think that's a misconception. I haven't been on the salesperson side for a while. I can think of only the agents that we've brought through, one of our girls that's been with us now 2 years, and it's kind of just getting to that point where the flywheel's starting to turn. I went out, she got a lead, went out, pitched with her. We got the business, which was awesome, got it as an auction. She ran it, my name wasn't on it. Helped do the mid-campaign meeting during the auction, helped do the reserve meeting. There's no credit to Grant Bowman. There's no, and I'll do that for the whole team. I did a listing meeting the other day with one of our guys, and I want to better them and help them. I want to create really great agents. Yeah.
So that's one of the big roles of being a selling principal, building the team is you got to take time to give them that support.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm there to support them wherever I can. And I think for standalone agents, and you've only got to look at the industry. Like, I don't know, when you and I started, that you didn't have big teams like they are today.
Yeah.
Like, teams of 5 and 6 didn't exist today.
No way. No. Back in 2009, I've said this before, I was at the ARIC conference. That was my first ARIC conference. And, one of the agents up there speaking had a team of 3.
Yeah.
Like her and 2 full-timers.
Yeah.
And it was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And she did 750 GCI.
Yeah.
Which at the time, of course, prices have gone up a lot. So, but that would have been like a sort of 1.5 today.
Yeah.
And it was just, sort of unheard of
Yeah.
kind of money. And to have 2 full-time people. In my office, there were 20 salespeople at the LJ Hooker.
Yeah.
One person had a full-time person.
Yeah.
And it was me. I was the associate. I was the only full-time associate for an agent in that office, and everyone else was an individual agent on their own.
Yeah.
That was real estate.
So so that's changed. I think as if you're a standalone agent, you've got to understand there's more competition in the industry generally, and the capacity within, whether it's a principal's business or a high performing agent's business, you kind of got to understand that process. And if you're aligned with a high performing leader, I think obviously you get to learn from what they do and soak that up and be around it every day, and the ability to sustain high performance over a long time. So I've been an elite for 18 years. So I think there's something to learn from that mentality side as well as the skill part. But I think also being aligned with that when you're coming up against other high performing agents, I think there's benefit to that as well.
How would you deal with a situation where you were talking to an owner?
Yep.
Or they wanted you to sell, but someone else in your office has also been out there and appraised
Yep.
that property and has a relationship.
So we would it happens in the office, not all the time, but it does happen. So we'd either go and do it together, is usually what happens. And I would prefer not to be lead, So I'm happy for them to be lead. If they said, no, I want to do it on my own, I'd say that's cool. At the end of the day, the client's the one who chooses. They're the ones paying the commission. I'm not going to get upset about it or anything like that. But typically what happens is we go and do it together.
What about if 2 agents in the office have a relationship, or one appraised it a year ago and they end up talking with another agent and then they get the listing? How do you deal with those situations?
Yeah, again, it doesn't happen all that often. I mean, it's happened actually just this week where it was 3 of them were speaking to the same owner, which can happen, meet at open homes and different things happen. So more often than not, they'll go and do it together. Because it was 3 of them, they all just decided to go it alone, which that's cool. I just said, you just got to be respectful, know. And at the end of the day, the client will choose who they want to pay the commission to,
Yeah. Do you ever have to step in and say, look, I think in this situation, this person gets X and this person gets Y?
No, it hasn't gotten to that at this point.
It's never gotten to that point?
The bigger picture is, we've got 25% market share. That means 75% we don't have. Look at the bigger picture.
Yeah. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the content. Just quickly, if you're interested in knowing what it might look like for you to own your own real estate business and brand, then that's what me and my team do. We help agents to create, run, and grow their own agency and brand so they can earn higher commissions and set up a better life for themselves. If you're interested in what that might look like, just click the link in the show notes and book a call with me or one of my team members, and we'll find out whether or not this is a good fit for you. Now let's get back to the episode. So what else have you had to change since being a business owner? Now you're a high performing salesperson for 10 plus years, then you become a business owner. What have you had to change in your mindset to be that great leader?
So leadership's a service role, and it's like Andrew and James in our business, that's the process we're going through with them in terms of helping them to understand that you come last,
What, the leader comes last?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not about, again, the reward for a leader is the profit when you meet with the accountant at the end of the financial year or quarter, whatever it is. But your needs need to come after everyone else's. So that's probably the mindset that I've taken. And what do I need to do to make them better? I really see leadership as a service role, service to the people in our team. So I think it's probably changing that mindset. which I didn't particularly struggle with. I wanted to create great auction agents, so I was passionate about that, and that helped grow my goal, which was to have an auction only business. So that kind of aligned.
Okay, so auction only. You said 98% of your properties.
Yeah, I think we did 2 off market in the last 12 months, and 2 private treaty.
Your office sold 250 properties last 12 months.
Yeah.
245 of those were auctions?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So why auction everything?
I just don't see how private treaty gives you any benefit. Auction, you get everything you're going to get from private treaty with an auction, and just the potential for outcome when you have transparent competition is unrivaled.
I agree with that, but I personally think that if you don't have great competition, an auction doesn't necessarily help.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
I think if you look now, like if you look in our suburbs, I met with a client yesterday. I don't know if you guys use the Ignite CMAs through realestate.com.
Yeah, some of us do.
Yeah, some of you do. So in the back of it, it'll have how many buyers. And look, it's indicative, but I met with a client yesterday. It was 650 buyers registered for a 3-bedroom house in Mount Gravatt. There's 2 on the market. Mm-hmm. Clearly, we've got competition. I think if most private treaties at the moment would be getting multiple offers on them, so the ability to create competition at the moment is there. I just think transparent competition is far more powerful than non-transparent competition, which is private treaty.
So do you think that there's situations where the auction isn't as good?
I'm yet to find it.
No?
No.
Okay, how about if I have a 1-bedroom unit?
Yeah.
Which
I've done, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which has a limited market.
Yeah.
And you've got a seller that's way overpriced.
Yeah.
And they don't want to pay for much marketing.
You guys still run through that process. Yeah, because look, the other thing that will help the owner is the transparency on the other side for the owner to be able to make transparent decisions, because we're dealing with permanent decisions and real buyers, so they'll know where the real money sits and then they can make a decision. And I'd rather that than slogging over the next 3 months, helping the next agent sell it, so that they can make a decision, we can make a decision as well as agents.
Sometimes you must go into it though when you auction everything knowing this is not going to work. The process, I know you've got the back end process works because they need to find out for themselves through this process where it's going to go. But the auction's not going to happen.
Well, I'm sitting at personally at 96% clearance rate. So
when you say clearance rate, you mean could be sold after that?
No, that's before or on the day. 96%.
96%.
Yeah.
Is that genuine statistics?
Genuine.
I would love to see those.
I can show you on Pulse when we finish if you want.
96%.
For me, in the rolling 12 months. That's for me. The office is at 88.
Okay. So I don't know how you get that sort of percentage when, because
it's a learned process, and most they don't teach you that at the ROQ, do they?
So give us some tips on auction then. How do you get 96% clearance rate before? How many would you sell before then?
For me, probably about 25%, 25-30%.
Okay.
25%, yeah.
That's still really high.
Yeah.
Really, really high. 96% clear. Because I hear clearance rate all the time. Oh, I'm 96%.
Yeah, the 90-day rate.
Yeah. Okay, but 25% sold either before or on the day, and then you sold 50% 3 weeks after. That's not.
So we took 40 properties to auction at Mansfield on the 26th of July. We sold 37 from 40 on the day.
Really?
One day.
At an in-rooms auction.
Yep.
Okay, so you really have the process down pat.
Yep.
So tell me about the dialogue then around the auctions to get the buyers ready.
The biggest mistakes agents make.
The biggest mistakes agents make, please,
so
because you're obviously very good at this.
They don't call enough.
Okay.
So I did the auction I sold last night. I looked at, we had 76 inspections in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We made 450 phone calls to the buyers that inspected and inquired.
So each buyer got...
So the buyers in the first week got 9-10 rounds of phone calls. They're getting called every second or third day. So frequency builds trust with buyers.
Okay, so that could be a big one. So let's say you got 20 people through an open home at an auction. You call them all back for the first round.
So I get caught on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then 12 of them say, nah, it's not for me, not interested.
Sure.
They'll get called again
Yeah.
and again.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a big one then, because most agents will just go, they're not off. They just focus on the medium to hot ones.
Yeah.
And you'll focus on the cold the whole way through till the end. And how many, because quite often you can turn those cold
I won't turn all of them, but we might turn a couple. And
Yeah.
that's increasing my registered bidder numbers. So we would average 15 registered bidders on a property. Like one of the ones at Mansfield Highland, we had 52 registered bidders.
Okay, so how do you get so many registered bidders?
Again, it's the frequency of building trust.
It's not just the frequency of the call.
Yeah.
There must be a way that you are encouraging.
So you let them understand there's an opportunity as well. That's an important part of it, because a buyer won't come. Like no buyer wakes up and goes, "I want to buy unconditionally," but you've got to build.
Can we role play
it? Yeah,
can we?
Yeah.
I'm really interested in this.
Sure.
So let's say you standard property, 4-bed, 2-bath house worth $1 million. I've come through. I'm not that interested.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just role play.
So we'll try and get feedback from that to help the owner as well. Yeah.
Okay, let's try. Go.
So you've said you don't like it?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Wasn't for us?
Let's do the whole call.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, Dennis Grant from Ray Watt. I was just following up in regards to 10 Smith Street, just see if that was the sort of thing you're after or where you're up to with your purchasing.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, nah, not really for me.
Sure.
I don't think.
Sure.
Yeah.
What sort of thing were you after in case I've got something else coming up?
Well, something like that.
Sure.
But I don't know. Something about that street and the house, the way it faces. It's a bit weird.
Okay, so it faces south, so maybe something more north facing. This one's on a corner, so not a corner?
I don't think it's the corner. It's just, I don't know, it's a bit of a weird house.
Okay. So
Yeah.
different layout maybe.
Yeah.
But still 4 bedrooms?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a budget you're ideally trying to keep to if we come with something else?
I'd like to keep it under 900.
Under 900. And absolutely, that's a good budget. And so for this one here, because the owners are definitely selling, they've already committed on bridging finance to another property, so it's got to go. They want to get as much as they can, but it's definitely selling. So if it sells for 800,000, it wouldn't change your mind about the layout?
Could it sell for 800?
I'd certainly be excited to try. The worst thing I can say is no, and then you can still come to auction if you want, or we can certainly help you find something else.
I mean, it would be a good deal at 800. I don't know if I'd still buy it because I don't really like it.
Sure. Well, what about this? How about I stay in touch with how we're progressing with the auction campaign?
Yeah.
And I'll definitely let you know if it's worth you something getting involved in. And we'll definitely be in touch if we've got something else coming up.
Okay, yeah, no worries. All right, cool. So that's the first call.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing the second call again.
To see if they're still looking for something and
you play that thing again.
Reinforcing that we're definitely selling.
But what about this?
Yep.
This is the thing that bugs a lot of people.
Sure.
And it bugs a lot of buyers. And you probably know what I'm about to say. There's this sort of, I don't know, maybe a stigma in the market from buyers that agents know that it's not going to sell for that kind of price.
Well, auctions aren't a predetermined outcome.
No, they're not. But you still have an idea of, like the owners say, this is my reserve or this is what it's worth. And you genuinely believe, like if you believe that house was worth $1 million.
Right.
And then you're talking to someone saying, would you buy it for 800? And they're like, yeah, I probably would. And you're like, come along to the auction. But you genuinely don't think the owners would take 800, nor do you genuinely think that property. So you got to
detach, like to be a great auction agent, you got to detach yourself from price completely.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that will prevent outstanding outcomes. And look, I'm a buyer. I bought real estate. I've thought I would spend a certain price, ended up spending a lot more. And yeah, look, in terms of buyers, like they've got the same access to research that I do.
Yeah.
Like there's no hidden anything. But if I start making decisions on what a buyer's got or what an owner wants, well, then I've failed the process.
Okay.
My job is to get as much as I possibly can, regardless of market, regardless of the last sale, and give every buyer an opportunity to purchase.
And regardless of what you think that the owner will take and what you think the property's worth?
Yeah, I don't know what anything's going to sell for.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm completely detached. And to be a great auction agent, I think you need to be.
Yeah, I think you need to be because I think that's sort of the ethic and moral thing that kind of holds people back.
So
from
it's not a no. I get the sentiment though.
I know. Yeah.
Like we struggle with training people that part, and I think once they see one click, they're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. And I think for a buyer, and this is, I don't know, you could say this is me rationalising it, but for a buyer, we've had buyers come to our auctions, bid on property, so they spent a month or two coming to our auctions, or came to one of those big events that I just spoke about, work out really quickly they probably can't afford this area, and they move on to another area, and don't suffer the heartache of private treaty making offers over the next 4 months. The agent using that offer to leverage another buyer, and they don't know because there's no transparency.
Yes,
and then they don't see it pop up till it settles 3 months later, and go, and they actually could have just moved to a different area, bought a property, and had the transparency that auction provides.
Yeah, that's a fair comment because there is a lot of that happens.
Absolutely,
and I can see why buyers get frustrated, but I totally understand that. Like, in order to be a great auction agent, you have to completely detach from price.
Well, it's not about price; it's a process.
It's a process.
Yeah. So you can't pitch on price; you pitch on process.
Yeah. Okay.
So hopefully that makes some sense.
How low would you go? Right. So if you genuinely thought a property was worth $1 million, right? And I know.
Oh yeah, like
okay,
if so
you don't know what it's going to sell for. You don't know what's worth, whatever. You know.
Like that instance where you're saying $1 million, they've got 900. I told them 800 definitely come. Like if someone said I've got 500, I'd say look, the owner's definitely selling. But I reckon we'd have a fair bit of competition for a house in that area with these dimensions.
Yeah.
Or this specific, like you're going to have a heap of competition from other buyers at that level. But if you want to look at it, we're there on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I would answer. If they're way off on price, you know.
So you said, because I know a lot of agents would just go, mate, you got no chance.
No, because I know in reality that's probably not their real number anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to tell them to come and look. I don't want to belittle them. I'd say, well, look, I think you're going to have a lot of competition at that level, but if you want to come check it out, we're there on Saturday.
Yeah.
And if they come through, I've had people who had a lot more money to spend. They thought they could buy it for that, worked out they couldn't, then end up spending more.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I would. That's how I'd handle it.
Okay, but what about at that 800 mark, which is kind of the borderline?
He'd already told me he had 900, so we're not that far away.
Yeah. Okay. But okay, so what if I said I had 800?
And it might not be worth $1 million, it might only be worth 950. So we're like, hang on a minute, we're right in the ballpark then, aren't we?
Yeah. So what if I said I had 800? You think it's worth $1 million? You know the
again, at that level, we'd still say there's going to be competition at that level.
Yeah. Same response.
Yeah,
right?
same response.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I'm not going to tell you not to get involved, but I'm probably going to broadly give you some guidance.
Yeah. Okay.
Without discussing price.
It's a good lesson from you, Grant, because I think a lot of people are scared to run auctions because they're just scared of the responses to get to
Well, they haven't been
buys.
shown. They haven't been taught.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you don't know.
And okay, so what's another tip that you can give us about auction?
So it's that the frequency of contact. I mean, we've covered that thing. They make too many decisions on what the buyer's got. Like I'm completely attached. They make a decision on what the owner wants. The owner just wants the max.
Yeah.
Or the worst is they make a decision on what they think it's worth. So there's many opportunities where agents made a decision on what they think it's worth. Oh, God, we got 50 grand than the last one down the street. But you don't understand we're in a market where there's 650 buyers looking, there's 2 on the market. And we're on track. If you've done those calls, the other part of those calls is that gives you great confidence to have really good information to know and have confidence. I'm going to have 15 registered bidders and say to the owner, look, it's a great offer, but I think we go forward. I think we need to put the market to the test. Or if then conversely, if you think the buyer is on an island on their own and you're taking a risk by going to auction, you're making a really informed decision when you're giving those recommendations.
Do you think that selling by auction gives you more opportunities to get more listings?
Certainly putting yourself on display. So from that point of view, absolutely. Yeah, if you rip a good auction result, then
more of a good talking point?
Yeah, well, I tend to find with private tree the increases are more incremental, whereas with an auction, like I've certainly experienced it personally, where you'll see a seismic jump in price. That certainly turns heads.
I definitely agree. I must say, I own an auction. We do auctions here.
Good.
I'm not a sole auction guy like you. I'm a bit more of I'll choose my auctions.
Right.
Right. You know, each
Maybe I'll convert you.
Yeah, maybe. Each to their own. It doesn't matter.
No,
But,
look, at the end of the day, if it's getting your business and you're making, progress and money and progressing, then all good. Like, I'm not, I hate you because you don't do auction. No, not that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I will say, I'll finish with this, is that I firmly believe that the best sale prices that I've ever got at the time of the market, where I've absolutely gone,
I don't know how
holy shit, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that owner got that price.
Yeah. Like, you're standing in the auction room going,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has only happened at auction.
Yeah.
The best prices I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've also seen some of the best bargains at
That's
auctions.
why
Auctions.
That's the opportunity for the buyer.
Yeah, that's the opportunity for the buyer. Yeah. Happens less, but
typically that's happened when I've seen it where the back end work hasn't been done as methodically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Grant, thank you. That was
got a bit
really
off topic, but hopefully that was something.
No, it was good. Who knows where the conversation goes, but I really like that.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks for tuning into the Get Keen podcast. If today's episode got you thinking about starting your own real estate business and building your own brand, Plum Partners may be able to help. Book a call using the link in the show notes, and let's see if we're the right fit to help you create, run, and grow your own real estate brand. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and follow me on Instagram at Dan_Lee_Plum. Until next time, keep getting keen.